Hey there, this is Corey Matich. Here is my presentation for the finer points of selling for the business communications course at Delgado Community College. I decided to do the presentation outdoors today. It's a beautiful New Orleans morning, and I wanted to kind of capture that with what I was about to do. Also, a point I wanted to make before I jumped in, with really any topic that I wanted to go over, I felt knowledgeable enough to discuss. Um, the one point I wanted to drive home was that no matter what you're doing, if you wanted to perfect whatever it is that you're working on, you have to practice. I know it's kind of cliche thing to point out, but it really is the case. With really anything, you've really got to put yourself into it before you perfect it, before you're going to be competent at it. So the points I'm going over today, they're going to help you to sell a little bit better. It's going to kind of curb your sales acumen a little bit, but it's going to take time. It's not something that's just going to come overnight. I do have my PowerPoint up here, so if you want to follow along here, we're on page 1, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right in here. There are a couple of sales methods I'd like to discuss today. There's a traditional sales method, which is kind of the door-to-door, like vacuum cleaner salesman. The mentality that when that potential client opens a door, your job is to convince them that they cannot live without what you're pitching to them. And really, with that approach, you're going with more of a quantity over quality approach. You're not going to sell to every customer you talk to or every potential client you talk to in that instance, but you're definitely going to talk to a lot of people. And the more people you talk to, the more opportunity you have to sell. So that approach, again, the traditional approach, it is effective when you have a large quantity and you're not going for a quality approach. The other method, which I'm really going to dive into in detail today, is the consultative selling method. Again, this is more of a quality over quantity approach. You're going to try to sell to each person you speak to. And the main focus for this method is to uncover a potential client's needs. Instead of coming with a solution, you're trying to find out what problems they have. And I'd like to go over some specific points in the consultative selling method. Your main thing you want to come in with is you want to research the client a little bit, whether it's an individual person or a demographic. You want to come in with a little bit of knowledge about what their needs may be. And one of the examples I'm going to give is a commercial sales environment. That's actually what I do for my profession currently, is I do commercial sales. If I come in without any knowledge and I come in with a question, for example, like, tell me more about your business needs. And on a customer by customer basis, if you're not doing commercial sales, that can also be irritating to say, tell me more about your daily needs with a specific product. What you want to come in with is some level of understanding of, hey, I understand you run, this business. I understand you provide this to your client. Can you tell me more about potential areas of improvement there? More areas you're falling short in, pain points, opportunities there to improve. Those are kind of questions you want to ask, as opposed to tell me more about what you do. I think that's kind of an irritating question to somebody, especially because the person you're talking to, their time is valuable. Your time is valuable, but so is theirs. So keep that in mind. First things first, you're going to try to uncover the need. So you're going to ask kind of leading questions. Again, you've got some knowledge about what you're going in here with, so ask some leading questions. For example, if you're going to like a sports bar, you're going to ask them maybe how many games do you have playing at an individual time. And also by asking these kind of leading questions, instead of asking, tell me more about your business, if you're asking, tell me more about the type of games that you have, you're already showing that you know a little bit about the business, and you're already showing that you're somewhat interested in what they do by having that knowledge. Now that you've kind of uncovered some of the needs that the client, potential client has, it's time to make a pitch for what you have. And I don't normally like reading directly off of a slide, but I'm going to in this example because I really like the example that I used here. Basically, at this point, I've uncovered some of the customer needs. Now I'm going to make a pitch based off of that. So I'm going to say, Mr. Customer, based on our conversation, you imply that you're not fully satisfied with the total number of baseball games your bar offers. I can offer you a package of games that will allow your customers to view all of the games that they're missing right now. This will help you with repeat business, and you should see growth in your customer base once the addition of these games has been communicated to the potential customers who don't currently frequent your bar. So you're kind of letting them know, hey, what I'm offering is going to help with that miss that miss that you're not currently meeting right now with your customer base. Um, and then if there are any objections, which almost all the time, any person you're selling to is going to have some sort of apprehension to what they're purchasing. You need to address those issues instead of kind of just glossing them over. Really dive into them. So one of the ones that I run into pretty typically is price. If I'm selling something that's going to cost an individual more, I kind of have to dive into why it's important for them to still purchase this, even though it's going to cost them more. And I listed an example here, but basically the idea is, if the issue is cost, just for example, you're gonna address that. Hey, Mr. Customer, I understand that the increased cost is of concern, but based on our conversation earlier, you're going to see an increase in your customer base if we add these additional games, additional channels. This is going to increase the number of people coming into your bar. It's going to increase the number of regulars that you're going to have coming in at a regular time. These are games they can't catch at their house, but they can catch here, so they're going to come more frequently. Again, that's a good way to kind of point out that, hey, yeah, you're going to spend more money, but trust me, this is going to be worth it in the long run. After you've gone over all the objections that they've brought to you, at this point, you're going to try to close the deal. Now, keep in mind when you're closing this, you have to remember that what you're offering this person is going to help them. That's why you're there in the first place. You're not just blindly offering somebody to some product to somebody off the street. You're legitimately trying to help this person, and so keep that in mind when you're about to close this deal. That if there's apprehension, this is to help the person that you're working with. And again, if there's apprehension at this point, just make the customer aware of the benefits. Again, really hit hard on that. I understand there might be some apprehension to enter into this agreement, but like we talked about earlier, this is going to help you make more money now. This is going to help you do whatever you want to do now. You've uncovered the need, you're addressing it now. Now, this is going to help you in whatever facet. This is really going to address your need. It's going to help. A word that I really like to use often that helps give a visual for where this is going to go is the word growth, especially in the business setting. This is going to help your business grow. So again, I kind of try to hit on that. If the potential client is still apprehensive after you've tried your close, after you've made your offer, at this point, the best thing you can do is just establish a time to meet again. I understand that this was not something that you could make a decision on right now. Maybe you had to run it by your business partner, or whatever. Establish a time to meet again. Hey, great. Go ahead and run it by so-and-so. When can we meet again? When is the next best time for me to call you? When can I stop by the store again? When can we touch base again? Make sure you're always setting a follow-up appointment for whatever work you're doing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and close this presentation here. But again, we kind of reviewed the normal sales methods, the traditional, and then went into the consultative and how that can benefit you in the long run. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please touch base with me and let me know. I'm happy to review this further. Thank you.